Hello guys, today we've got even more exciting news about the Age of Empires 2 new DLC. This one is been officially announced today and it's going to be called the Dynasties of India. So the Dynasties of India DLC for Age of Empires 2 does bring with it 3 new civilizations, 3 new campaigns and 23 new achievements for those of you who like achievement collecting. So for this video I'm not going to spend the time just reading through the website announcement. What I'm going to do is have a look at the tech trees. Because they have actually shared the tech trees for the 3 new civilizations. So we'll have a little look at those. I'm not going to go into too much depth. So the Bengalis are classed as an elephant and naval civilization. Their elephant units receive 25% less bonus damage and are more resistant to conversion, which is pretty good. Certainly it seems as though they're going to be the main army composition. Town centres spawn 2 villagers when the next age is reached. Initially I thought that was possibly a little bit OP. We'll see. That might get nerfed, possibly knocked down to just 1 villager, but I mean it's not going to be too bad. You probably find that even the Malay have got a better bonus than that if you take into account all the time that the save aging up. And finally ships regenerate 15 HP per minute, so that's going to be pretty good for the fishing ships as well as obviously all their attack ships. I've got a unique unit which is the Ratha, which is a cavalry archer slash cavalry. So the Ratha is actually a chariot based unit which has ranged attack but also melee attack. So it can engage in melee, so if it gets surrounded by enemy units it should do okay rather than just get obliterated. It does have unique techs which are Payix. This is where the Rathas and elephant units attack 20% faster. We've got the Mahayana. Villagers take 10% less population space, which is going to be an interesting one, but I suppose it's not really that much different to Goths and their civ bonus. And then finally the team bonus, their trade units yield 10% food in addition to gold. So it doesn't sound too bad, potentially a little bit of issues with the villagers there, but I don't think it should be too overpowered. Let me know in the comments what you think. But in terms of their tech tree, we'll have a look at the archery range to start off with. So they don't get hand cannoneer, they get a full archer line, full skirmishing line, don't get cav archers. Instead they do get the elephant archer. So the elephant archer has actually been made a region specific unit for the Indian civs. And we've got the Castle Age version followed by the Imperial Age version as well. There's no thumb ring, but they do get Parthian tactics, so not too bad, especially when you consider they're going to have that 20% attack speed from the unique tech, and they're also going to be a little bit more resistant to bonus damage, so any skirmisher bonus damage that will go on them, or pikemen, it's going to be 25% less, which is going to be pretty good for them. The barracks is pretty standard, get everything other than supplies, and obviously no eagle warriors. Now the stable is very lacking. All it's got really is the scout line up until light cav. There's our bloodlines, but then it's got the battle elephants. So battle elephants again, for all these individual Indian civs, it's one of those regional units. Really good to see that the Indian civs have now got battle elephants. Looking at the siege workshop, they have armoured elephants instead of battering mams. They are missing siege onager and bombard cannon, but yeah, they do get armoured elephant, which has an Imperial Age upgrade to siege elephant. Again, this is another regional unit for all of the Indian civs. Pretty good blacksmith. The only thing they're missing is the final infantry upgrade, which is fine. Very strong dock. Only thing missing is heavy demo ship. University, pretty much everything again. There's just no bombard tower research. And then in the castle, they're missing Hoardings and sappers, but they do have that elite unit there. It'll be interesting to see what the costs are like on that unit. Monastery, pretty much everything other than heresy. Town centre, all techs available. Stone shaft mining is missing from the mine, but apart from that all the other eco upgrades are available, so it looks as though they've got quite a good tech tree. So that's the Bengalis. Let's have a look at the Dravidians. Okay, so the Dravidians, these are classed as an infantry and naval civilization. They receive 200 wood when advancing to the next age, which should be pretty good for early feudal rushes. Fishermen and fishing ships carry plus 15. Barracks technologies cost 50% less, so supplies is going to be ridiculously cheap. There are potentially some very strong men-at-arms rushes with these. Skirmishers and elephant archers attack 25% faster, so again, faster attacking elephant archers. Their unique units are the urumi swordsmen. I'm just butchering all these pronunciations. And also the Thirisadai. The unique techs are medical core. Elephant units generate 20 HP per minute. And I don't think that's overly strong. And then they've got wood steel, or wood steel. Infantry and cavalry attack ignores armor, which to me is ringing some alarm bells. We all know how strong the Obuk is, with reducing the armor of the enemy. This civ just totally ignores armor altogether once you've got that technology, which is going to be absolutely mental because it's not as though it's just one unit. It's not a specialised unit. It's going to be doing it all infantry, and all cavalry will be ignoring armour. So that sounds a little bit OP for me. I expect that will get a nerf at some point. The team bonus docks provide +5 population room. So everything on this civilization seems okay, other than that unique tech there, in my opinion. So looking at the archery range, they do get hand cannon there. They've got pretty much everything else other than cavalry archers. They don't get pathing tactics, but they do get thumb ring this time, as opposed to the Bengalis. So their elephant archers will be shooting really quick, actually. With regards to the barracks, they've got a full barracks, obviously without eagle warriors. Stable, same as the last one, apart from they don't get elite battle elephant or husbandry. So stables are not really going to be much of an option for the Dravidians, I don't think. I think it's certainly going to be more men at arms, I expect, potentially elephant archers as well. Again, the siege workshop pretty much the same as the last one, apart from they get siege onager. They don't get bombard cannon. But again, we do have those armoured elephants. Blacksmith, another reason not to go for cavalry is the lack of plate body armour for the Imperial Age. But they do get everything else. So fully upgraded elephant archers and swordsmen. So you can potentially look at either a halb siege and elephant archer composition potentially with these, or again going for that sort of men at arms line. Full dock, everything within the dock, so certainly they've got to be A+ if you were looking at a Spirit of the Law video. University is missing a few more things than the last one was. There's no treadmill crane, siege engineers, or architecture. I think the siege engineers is probably quite a big one there. In the castle, they've got pretty much everything other than sappers. Monastery is losing quite a few technologies actually, so they're not going to have the strongest monks. No redemption, illumination, heresy, or fervour. All the town centre techs and eco techs, pretty much everything other than gold shaft, stone shaft, and crop rotation. But that's it for the Dravidians. Let's have a look at the Gurjaras. So these are classed as a cavalry and camel civilization. They start with 2 forage bushes, which is going to be interesting, and they can garrison mills with livestock to produce food. So this is actually a mechanic out of the old Star Wars Age of Empires 2, the Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds. You could garrison livestock within their, well, it was called an animal nursery, I think it was, but I expect it'll work similar to how relics work within Age of Empires 2. I think in Star Wars though, depending on what animals go in there, I think some that have more food will generate more food. So like, it'd be interesting to see whether a water buffalo will generate more food than having sheep in there. Following on from that, it says mounted units deal 50% extra bonus damage, which seems pretty crazy. I'm not sure if that just applies to any bonus damage they have against certain units, or whether it means they have 50% bonus damage against everything. In which case that's going to be pretty crazy, especially with Hussar raids. If they're dealing an extra 50% damage on villagers, that's going to be really, really strong. Ridiculously strong, in fact. And then finally, they can garrison docks with their fishing ships. So if you are getting attacked, you can garrison your fishing ships, keep them safe. So that's pretty cool. So the unique units are the Chakram Throwers, which are infantry units, a bit like the Gurjaras. We then have the Shrivamsha rider, which is a cavalry rider, and then they have camel scouts. The unique techs, Kshatriyas, I can't pronounce that at all. Military units cost 25% less food. So again, thinking of those crazy Hussar raids, that's going to be pretty nuts. Frontier Guards is another technology that they've got, where camel riders and elephant archers have +4 melee armor. So potentially even a camel rider raid could be on the cards. Their team bonus is that camels and elephant units are actually created 25% faster. Now that's pretty interesting. I mean, certainly if you're thinking of that less food cost for the military units, elephants will be pretty cheap, they'll be created faster, and they'll deal 50% more damage. That sounds a little OP, doesn't it? Unless, like I say, it only applies to whatever bonus damage they currently deal. Looking at their archery range, they've got everything for within the Castle Age, but they are lacking in Imperial Age a little bit. There's no arbs. Obviously there's no cavalry archers again, and there's no Parthian tactics this time, but they do have thumb ring and they do have fully upgraded elephant archers. So certainly an elephant archer composition, and again, is going to be viable for the Indians. They do have hand cannoneer. The barracks is looking pretty grim actually. Only spearmen, so that's going to be quite difficult potentially. And they only get 200 swordsmen as well, and they're also missing squires. So infantry is a little bit weak for them. In terms of the stable, they don't actually get elite battle elephants or normal battle elephants, so it's very much going to be camels. Interesting to see you get the camel scouts within the feudal age, and you do get the Shrivamsha rider within the stable as well actually, which is interesting. I thought that might be a castle age unit, but I suppose that's where the Chakram Throwers are going to be from. So it'll be interesting to see how good these are. Apparently they are quite fast, mobile, pretty weak, but they do also have the ability to dodge arrows. So it'll be interesting to see how well ballistics does against them. And again, as you can see, fully upgraded light cavalry or scout lines there. But camel scouts in the feudal age could be absolutely mental, especially against French players, and a scout rush. That could be fantastic actually. Siege workshop, pretty similar story as before. No siege onager, but they do get bombard cannon. Blacksmiths are missing a few, or a couple of things actually. The final archer armor and also the final attack armor for melee attacks. So that's probably going to help matters with that 50% bonus damage. The docks lacking a little bit again in the Imperial Age, but they do have everything in Castle Age. And the university is missing siege engineers, arrow slits, and bombard tower. Everything available in the castle. Monastery is missing faith and block printing, but they get everything else. And they pretty much get all of the eco techs other than two-man saw and guilds. So again, pretty strong eco upgrades for the Gurjaras. Okay, so that brings us on to the Hindustanis, which is the replacement for the Indian civilization as we know it at the moment. So the only team bonus I can see that's the same at the moment is the villager costs. They are losing the fish gather rate, and they're also gaining a few other little bits and bobs. So camel riders attack 25% faster, gunpowder units have +1/+1 armor, and they can build something called a caravanserai in the Imperial Age. So the caravanserai actually has a special effect. It heals and increases the speed of trade carts in a 10-tile radius. So you know, having a few of those, or quite a few of those, dotted along your trade route in team games is going to be absolutely crazy. It kind of reminds me of Age of Empires 4 with their Mongols tech, with their outposts. The unique units are the Ghulam. It's actually a spearman type unit, and it does sound as though it has a bit of range to it, because it says it can pierce multiple units. And imperial camel riders. So we are keeping the imperial camels, so that's pretty good, especially with that 25% attack speed buff. It's going to be quite interesting. The unique techs have got the Grand Trunk Road, so all gold income is 10% faster, which is just the same as Sultans as we have now. And they've got the Shatagni or Shatagni. Hand cannoneers have +2 range. That's exactly, it was +1 range before, it's now +2, so that's going to be pretty good for their gunpowder units, that's for sure, or their hand cannoneers. The team bonus, camel and light cavalry units have +2 attack versus buildings, which is half what they get at the moment. Currently they get 4. That's covered everything for the new Age of Empires 2 Dynasties of India. That's covered everything for the new civilizations in the Age of Empires 2 Dynasties of India DLC. Let me know in the comments what you think to the new civilizations, and I'll see you on the next one.